Hi everyone, today I want to introduce you to my deck list of Geargia. Unfortunately for this time it's not a paper deck list because all these cards I sold them a long time ago and I don't really intend to buy them back. So that's it. But despite of that, it is overall a head format. It is overall a really funny format, and sometimes I like to play also weird decks. But okay, this it is Geargia. It is pretty okay. Yeah, it is basically a tier 1, and I really like this deck because it's insanely consistent and it's really versatile, but overall it's really good. But it has a really bad matchup against Mermail. That's the reason why it isn't really the best deck, but you know, it is really good. I start with the deck list. I don't pray. I play basically the standard Geargia package: free arsenal, free Geargia, free armor, 1 and 3. Nothing to say. I believe it's perfect. I don't feel to play the others because they are shit. Maybe they are really terrible. And yeah, it is really strong, especially accelerator. It is a really strong extender, rank for matter, rank for okay, something for rank 4. And also his effect in the graveyard, it's really cool. You are able to loop this card and this card continuously. Anyway, it arrived a couple of times. It's really cool to grind, you know. In any case, I play a lot of entrops. I play a certain number of entrops. The reason why it is that I believe entrops, they are really underrated in this format, especially Max Chi. Okay, expressing it better, Maxi, it was really underrated in the format, but there is a couple of reasons. It was in that period, was really grindy, really turning around hot. So this Maxi wasn't so good in the new era. You have a lot of decks that they were Maxi is really strong against, and so I believe it is a card to be introduced in the main deck. It is always good, especially because in that period Soul Recharge was okay. It was considered a strong card, but it wasn't so played. It wasn't so it hasn't the consideration it has nowadays. So Maxi, it becomes really strong because you pay thousands of life points. You summon your bunch of monsters, and then you have to deal. Do I make him draw, or I stop here and I get the advantage? You know, it's kind of sketchy. And the same reason for Diddy Crow. Diddy Crow, it's overall a really good card in the format. It's really versatile. It's really something that it's never breaky. That's it. It has always an application in thousands of matchup, in thousands of situations. It's never so good. It's never relevant, but you know, it's a deck so consistent that gets so much card advantage that this card it could be played. It's not a big deal to don't play this card, to play this card. So that's it. And I also like it against soul recharge, because it is true that it doesn't stop soul recharge, but you know, maybe you remove the key piece he's summoning back, so it could be fine. Book, of course. Dark Hole, of course. And here there's the Spies. Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality, I believe, is really strong in this deck. I'll soon explain why. And it is really underrated. It's really not considered for this deck. The reason why, I understand. There are a lot of starts, for example with Arsenal, where you want to use your special summon. There are a lot of starts, are a lot of situations where you wanna utilize your accelerator. So the problem of the Pot of Duality, it is that it is really not useful in many situations. Okay, on this we agree. The reason why I play this card, it is that the best start of this deck, it is this one, the Trap. The Trap, it is the best start you can have with this deck. It gets so much advantage, so much advantage also in terms of setup. So this card, it is the best start. The second start, it is this Armor. Both these cards, they are really not sensible to the fact to don't be able to special summon in your turn. So this card, it is really strong to set up your field for the first turn in order to be as strong as possible. And in the case you don't find none of them, or you already have one of them, it is a really great option to start to look for some other card to reinforce your back row. That's really relevant, that's really amazing. It's also really good in grind game. You know, look for some trap to grind. It's really good, it's really good. And in the worst scenario, you just set to bluff a trap, and you can utilize it when you don't use a special summon. So it's really good. It's really underrated. I believe it's a key card of this deck, and that's it. Then Double Typhoon. I don't believe to play many Typhoon. It's a really strong card in the meta, but there are a lot of decks that they don't suffer this card, so I prefer to play just two of them, also because Pot of Duality, it's a card, so if I need I can look for it. Soul Recharge, this deck, it can't really abuse of Soul Recharge. Many times maybe you have it in your hand and you don't really feel the need to use it. So two copies, it's enough. It's for grind games. It is for for extend. It's always really good. The Trap. I already talked about this card, about the Trap. It's really amazing. It gives you a big card advantage, a big setup. Nothing to say more. Just play it. Fiendish Chain, it is really good. I like this card. The double copy for the reason I explained here. Nothing to say. Mirror Force. I love to play one Mirror Force for multiple reasons, because it's a really unexpected card. It gets you a really card advantage in really rough situations, and also playing Duality. Maybe you add to your hand the Mirror Force, and and then your opponent is there to is sweating, and he's forced to play wrongly. That's it. Triple Nightmare, it is really strong in this meta. Unfortunately, it is a really situational card. The effect, it is pretty situational, and I love to play it just 1-0, because first I can search it with Duality, and second because It is a card that is good with a back row, so it is a card that alone it doesn't do much. So it is a card to reinforce your back row, you know, basically as mirror force. Tropple, of course, bottomless, of course, torrential, of course. This card, I like this card to improve my matchup against, for example, Mermail, but other decks, you know. It's a really strong floodgate. I suffer it too, but I suffer it less than other other decks in the meta. So it's fine. It's fine. I like also because as I always told, duality is strong. This card rivalry carried so much matchups, so much match. It's a card that when flipped in the right moment it wins by itself. So really really strong. I love it. The fact it's I play duality, it gives it more versatility, more strength. So really good. And of course talking about the side I played, I don't know if it is the best side I could play. In any case, I show it. Scarecrow because it's searchable, and yeah, it's just against the Dumbo case decks such as Lightsworn. This card because it's searchable and it's good in some matchups. Double Veiler, I played against a really heavy combo decks like, I don't know, Infernity, where you really have to stop it during your turn. This card for a mirror match, this card for mirror match, but generally also against hot decks. The third Typhoon. These two cards against you know, Mermail or other matchups that suffers. This card, other two copies. I don't know if I like the other two copies. Well, really no idea. Generally, it is good against, for example, hot decks. Well, that's it. The Bank against Mermail, against something else that I don't remember. And Wire Trap, of course, it's so good. The extra tech, it's really weird. I show you. I play one of these. I believe this card is really good to grind when you don't start with when you start with double of these dudes. So your setup is really little, really not good. So this card gives you the potentiality to grind at least for 2 turns, and I also appreciate a lot the fact that when it dies, it shuffles back the materials. So it's very important because in this way you are able to recycle them for the trap. That's really relevant. I could play House Codes Mighty, I think. That's true, but in any case, for now I prefer this. This one, of course. This one to play against Skill Drain. Abyss Dweller. You can spam rank 4 with this deck, so I don't see why not. Double Emerald. I love Emerald. It's without Double Emerald, playing Double Emerald, you really don't care about your resources. You can really spam all your monsters without thinking too much about your resources. And it's really good because every so often it happens that your opponent decides to remove your to play against Emerald, for example, with a triple nightmare or so on. And having the second one, it's really relevant because you know, you shuffle back your resources, you draw one card. It's amazing. Exciton, of course. This card, I don't like it much, but it's was it yeah, I don't remember why I played this card, but okay, it's good in the meta. This card, of course, it makes time missing. One arc. Well, it's fine. Sometimes it's been played in 2 copies. I like just one. I believe it's enough. Georgian Dix, amazing. This card is the best card of your extra deck. This card, it's a pretty good utility. Every time you can summon this card, it's yeah, you know, it's a card that it has too much. It's really useless because you play it just in a few matchups like Madolce or Bujin or Fair Fist. I don't have other examples, but in any case, it is a card that it gets so much card advantage that it's down to don't be played. You know, that's what I believe. And crazy box for skill drain, because you know, or your monsters are tiny and you basically win the effects. So be able to play a crazy box. It's a bit of advantage. This was the deck list. I believe it's really good. I'm having a lot of good results with it, so try it and let me know.